How does Islamic unity come about? How is the duty of the caliphate fulfilled? Today, the Ummah, meaning the Islamic world, is divided into more than 60 states, and some of these states are at war with others. Given this, what happens if any Islamic state or an organized group in these lands declares a caliphate, calls one person a caliph, and asks Muslims in other countries to pledge allegiance to him, meaning to accept him as caliph and swear an oath of obedience? What will happen? One more reason for division, fragmentation, breaking apart, and conflict will be added to the existing ones. So what is the right, legitimate, and appropriate thing to do? Let me try to write it in points. First, the selection of a caliph, whom the entire Ummah must obey, follow, and submit to, is not a priority under current conditions. First, the wise and knowledgeable people of the countries should hold enough meetings, and, guided by the agreed-upon fundamental principles of Islam, they should identify the main problems of the Islamic world, their causes and solutions, through discussions and consultations. Second, as one of these solutions, brotherly relations should be started between the peoples of the countries, led by their wise and knowledgeable individuals. Just as the current forms of government are different, the leaders have no intention of giving up their positions. Therefore, there may be deviations, resistance, and mischief that arise. Measures to prevent these from the outset should be considered, and on the path to the reformation of the Ummah, that is, its revival or construction, the first condition should not be to change the regimes and leaders of the countries. There is much to do without touching the current forms of government and leaders, meaning without starting from there. Priorities must be strictly adhered to. After a certain progress has been made, and a common power, that is, an authority, has been formed, those who insist on things that are not legitimate from an Islamic perspective should first be worked on for reform. If this is not possible, then, in a way that does not harm the path and the journey, purification should be pursued through common actions. After the union of scholars, which in a sense is the ulul amr and alul hali wal aqd, those in authority and those who loose and bind, determines the form of unity for the Islamic world, it will then be time to choose the person who will lead this unity, that is, the caliph in this sense. Just as the caliph does not necessarily have to be from a specific state, ethnicity, or geography, it is also possible for the position to rotate if circumstances require it. Let's say an Islamic union is established, and all Islamic countries become members of this union. In some matters, countries have authority, and in some matters, the union has authority. In this case, the union chooses the president of a country or another suitable person for a certain period. If the union agrees at the end of the period, the same person continues as president. If they don't agree, another person becomes president according to a predetermined rule. The president's assistants and advisory board are chosen from different countries and from among the most suitable candidates. Of course, what I have written are my thoughts. They are open to discussion or completion. What should not happen is for someone to emerge somewhere and declare themselves caliph, mahdi, or messiah, inviting the ummah to pledge allegiance, declaring war on those who do not accept, killing innocent Muslims and non-Muslims whose blood and lives are sacred, and doing this in the name of Islam. Today there is no greater enemy or enmity that can cause more harm to Islam than this.